Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Marlo and welcome back to a video of mine. Well, what I want to show you today is how I lost 1,000 and let me check. I think $700. Let me check real quick. Well, today we lost $1,300. Well, I lost $1,300 during today's price action. Well, that shit was just ass. The trade respected my strategy. We're going to go in a small trade recap after I finish talking to you guys. But yeah, well, I won't lie to you, and I actually don't want to lie to you. This trading shit, it's getting to my head. I lost a substantial amount of money up until this point, only trading prop firms, and up until now, I didn't manage to pass any eval. So, like, yeah, I kept blowing accounts just because I didn't know my risk management. I didn't know with how much I actually want to go into a trade. I didn't know uh, that I could go into trades and maybe get a funded account where I don't have any consistency rule in my eval, so I can win, win everything in one trade. But yeah, well, it is what happened today. It is what happened. We went into drawdown, and I actually didn't got stopped out because the trade hit my stop loss, but I would have gotten stopped out anyways. But that's not the point. That's not the point. Well, this trading shit is really getting to my head. I I guess I'm just having a losing streak. This week was just so rough for me. On Monday, I got stopped out of my position just because of drawdown because I literally full ported. I don't know why I did that. Don't even ask me why. I even don't know that. And I knew that I shouldn't go with the full risk, which I did. I got into a trade with 40 micros. So that's my maximum allowance of risk. But yeah, well, let's go to the charts. Show you what happened today, because today's price action was pretty interesting in my opinion. I think a lot of traders got burned up to these shorts today, so I want to show you guys what happened. And honestly, these are the losses that you wish to take when the trade respects your strategy, but for some reason the market just does not have it. So yeah, let's go to charts. Well, this was my trade for the day. What happened? It was that on the 4 hour, what the fuck? Well, on the 4 hour, we we broke like the hell out of 4 hour structure. So we were bearish on the 4 hour for some time, but I saw that we actually retraced into this gap yesterday. Well, I saw that we broke 4 hour structure to the upside on both ES and Nasdaq. So initially, my bias was bullish. But what happened, it was that we swept all of these 4 hour highs on Nasdaq while we stayed well below them, and we still are on ES. So that was a big opportunity for SMT divergence. Well, when market opened, we swept London session highs while we swept all of this high time frame low resistance liquidity on Nasdaq. Then we broke 5 minute structure to the upside. And what does my strategy say? Well, when we sweep high time frame, like low resistance or just high time frame liquidity, and we make 5 minute breaks of structure, that's a big sign that we want to go lower. So this is what I wanted for the day. I thought, well, we already swept all of my confluences to the upside. why not rotate and go lower now? And this is what happened. Well, we swept these highs, we inversed this 5-minute gap right here on Nasdaq, while on ES I think we broke structure. No, but we inversed this gap as well, then we broke structure. We made a 5-minute retrace into this gap right here. How did I know that this retrace was valid? Well, I just waited for a 1-minute break of structure to the upside and then a 1-minute break to the downside. So that's how I know my retraces are valid. But yeah, we did the same shit on Nasdaq. I just waited for both S&P 500 and Nasdaq to actually break 1-minute structure to the downside, and I got into my trade somewhere around here. So like, yeah, this was my trade. We went a little bit into profits, but then price just broke 5-minute structure to the upside. We inversed this 5-minute gap for some reason, and yeah, price just decided to go higher. Actually, you can see right here that like my final take profit would have been hit because I was still kind of bullish for the day, but when market broke structure to the downside and then just filled confluences to the downside and made a 1-minute break still to the downside, I thought that we are at least going to take out like London session, Asian session lows on ES. But that didn't happen because Nasdaq wanted to rally higher. Well, yeah, I guess I could have took another trade, but my prop firm doesn't allow me to actually lose more than $1,200 per day. So that was the bad thing. But the next trade that I would have took would have been off of this 5-minute break of structure on Nasdaq and of course on ES. Well, I would have waited for a 5-minute retrace, which we got right here, and then, oh holy shit, and then when I would have saw that we broke 1-minute structure to the upside, I would have longed up to like these highs. And I won't lie to you, I would have waited like a whole bunch, and I would have gotten like through the motions with this shit, because you can see that this shit went right back in like at your entry point. So that would have spooked the shit out of me. Let me see what risk reward, sorry, we would have had. So this would have been a 1.8 risk reward ratio. That's not bad. That's not bad. But yeah, well, let's go back to talking. But I think I'm starting to get emotional about this shit. I think I'm starting to actually chase the win, because today I felt some anger while this happened, and I'm saying this shit again. Bro, these are the losses that you wish to take, not the ones that you were maybe too, like the ones that you missed because of FOMO, the ones that you actually were like not in the right headspace to like actually know what's happening there. Those are the trades that you don't wish to take. The ones that you're just in a hurry. That's how you recognize the trades that you don't wish to take. But yeah, I think that this trade respected my strategy exactly. For some reason, market just didn't have it, and I don't want to blame this shit on the markets, but it really is what happened. I guess I should have got that shit in the back of my head that we were still bullish on the 4-hour and on the hourly, but you know, after you sweep that much liquidity, there is big opportunity for you to go lower. So I didn't miss out on any of my opportunity. So I'm not mad about that. But yeah, back to what I was saying, this shit is starting to get into my head. because I lost some accounts up until this point, and I'm really running short of money. I'm running out of money. So like I don't know. I might be like forced to get a job this summer or something like that. But let's just hope that shit does not happen. Because we all know we traders hate jobs. That's why we started to do this shit in the first place, because we hate jobs. But yeah, well, this was my trading day. This was also taken on stream, and there you could actually see my whole character going through the motions, and actually like all of the emotions that I felt during the trade. Um, every confluence that made me take my decision to short the market today. I even said that if we break 5 minute structure, we might go ahead and like target the my bullish draws. But you know, it happened. It happened. So my bias was correct for the day. That's what I'm like, I guess happy for. I'm not happy that I lost, but I'm happy that I was right in some type of way. I would have like preferred to be wrong and to make money today and maybe pass my eval, but in the same time I know that I got this shit. So yeah, my account is not blown yet. I think I got $700 more to play with. It's not something big, but I guess I'll just take it, because it is what it is. But yeah, tomorrow I'm not going to like take anything, because I don't know when you are going to see this weird guy on the internet, but tomorrow is a bank holiday, so I'm not going to trade. So I'm only going to get into the charts on Monday. So like yeah. Well, this was the video for today. I hope that you understood something off of it. And what can I say, bro? Just don't let this shit get into your head. I know that this shit is getting into my head now, so like I would advise you to detach yourself from the money. Like I remember the last year I used to pray for moments like this. I used to pray to actually get the strategy. I didn't even know what a liquidity sweep it was. Do you know how long it took for me to like understand the concept of liquidity sweep? I thought that every candle is a liquidity sweep. Newsflash, it's not. But yeah, I guess you gotta go through that as well. But right now, me trading on prop firms, even though I'm not profitable, even though I didn't even pass a eval, it's a big step towards my direction, because I know that I'm getting market experience, like real life market experience, and that's something that you cannot put a price on. That's something priceless. So like yeah, I guess don't let this shit get into your head and stop whining and crying. And I'm talking to myself right now, when shit doesn't go your way, because you used to pray for moments like this. So how the fuck do you want to achieve greatness if you don't suffer a little? You have to go through that shit. It can be always just upward scandals. Everything cannot be just a uptrend. Sometimes you gotta go through the lows. Sometimes the market has to crash. But like yeah, I'll leave you guys with this. I really do hope and pray that you understood something from what I said, and if you're going through the same shit that I'm going through right now, just know that everybody, it's you know just going through the same shit, and you should stop crying. So like yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give this advice for myself. Bye.